Jacksonville has seemed to give up on the season this year. And we all know they want Trevor Lawrence. We all know that Trevor Lawrence is probably going to be the number one pick in next year's draft, and he's a highly profiled quarterback that the last time we've heard of a highly profiled quarterback like this, I guess you could say Sam Darnold, or you can even go back a little bit Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
That would be the two quarterbacks that we've heard very highly and very highly rated top quarterbacks that everybody was talking about possibly being number one quarterbacks, number one picks before the draft. Obviously, Sam got snagged, and he went 3 to the Jets, and Baker Mayfield went number one, which I think Cleveland is going to regret in the future. But nevertheless, you look at Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette has been one of the most dominant power running backs in the league for the last 4 years. Look at his numbers, even the numbers that are even down. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. He averages about 5 to 6 touchdowns a year. And he's also a guy that we talk about power runners. There are not many power running backs anymore. A lot of these running backs could do two things: catch the ball in the backfield. They use him for wide receivers. Leonard Fournette is a power back. That's what he is. That's what he does. And there's maybe 2 or 3 running backs in the league that do that now. So when you look at Leonard Fournette, there'll be a lot of people on the phone with Leonard Fournette's agent and trying to bring him in to the organization, to their organization. Dallas being one of them. I could see them bringing him in to be that other, I guess.
Back, yeah.
No, I wouldn't even say complimentary. I mean, he could actually win the job over Ezekiel Elliott. I still think Ezekiel Elliott does not fit that offense. I've said that over and over again. I think more.
Does Fournette fit that offense, though?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I've said this over and over again. The Cowboys like to bring in superstars. It doesn't matter if he fits the offense, if he doesn't. I think that he's a superstar player. He's a young player still. He's fairly young. He's 26 years old. He can still run the ball, and he's going to be looking for a big contract. He is. If he has a good season this year, he's going to get a big contract. Somebody's going to give him a big contract.
Staying in the NFC East, I could see that the Eagles definitely making him.
Even the Jets. Even the Jets right now, because I know they made a trade with Miami over the weekend and bring in that kid from Miami who played with Adam Gase.
I don't think he's coming. I think they failed his physical.
Oh, he failed his physical? Yeah. I didn't hear about that. Yeah. What happened today? It had to happen today because it happened over the weekend.
It was on CJ's show. CJ was saying it on his show.
So
it would have been yesterday.
So it probably happened yesterday over the weekend. So
which is good because Leonard Fournette's way better than him anyway.
Well, you look at the big picture and you heard what Le'Veon Bell said. Le'Veon Bell says there's no need to bring in another running back to help him out. Piron got hurt over the weekend. We don't know, ankle injury. He might not be back for a couple of weeks, maybe a month from now. So we don't know the extent of his ankle sprain or maybe a broken ankle. We don't know what it is. He's going to get an MRI today or tomorrow, and then it'll probably come out either Wednesday or Thursday what's going on with him. And the season starts in a week now. So the Jets are going to have to look for a second back because they don't have one. And you could say whatever you want with Le'Veon Bell. If Le'Veon Bell gets hurt, where are the Jets going as a running back? So there is running backs available right now in free agency, Leonard Fournette being one of them, and I think he's one of those guys that you have to look at. You're not going to have to pay him a lot of money because he's going to probably take a year contract, and then next year go into free agency and see where the numbers lie. I mean, also Freeman is still, Devontae Freeman is still available. That's somebody that the Jets should look at as well, a guy that can run inside and out. He fits the Adam Gase offense, so I'd be very surprised if the Jets don't look at Devontae Freeman,
too. He might be even cheaper at this point than Fournette is. And honestly, he might be a little bit better, too, just more all around.
Well, again, we have to look at the big picture right now, and the Jets as a whole they have a lot of holes right now. And you're looking at the injuries they have. They have a ton of injuries right now on that team. So they're a team to look. And by the way, everybody was talking about this pass rusher getting traded. Well, he got traded over the weekend. And Ngakoue got traded. And who did he get traded to, by the way?
Minnesota. He got traded to Minnesota.
Which I'm very surprised why Minnesota made that trade because they're going to have to pay him next year.
Yeah, they already were having some cap trouble during this offseason. That's why they had to purge a lot of assets on defense, including their former pass rusher and Everson Griffin. So it'll be
who went to the Cowboys.
So again, they're going to have to make up that money to be able to re-sign him, which is going to be very hard to do. They gave up a second-round pick and a conditional fifth-round pick, which if Ngakoue plays as well as he did with Jacksonville in previous years, could turn into a third-round pick.
Well, again, I do not believe Minnesota will be able to sign him next year. I think they brought him in for this year to win a Super Bowl. Minnesota is expecting to win a Super Bowl this year. They extended Kirk Cousins' contract last year. They extended, I think, 2 years to his contract. And they expect to win at least one Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins in this, I guess you could say, bag of misfits. And there's a lot of them on this team. And they tried to get rid of some of them. One of them went to Buffalo. There was a ton of, Emerson Griffin, who, I don't know, he's out of his mind. He was in a mental institution.
Three of their corners, too.
Yep. I mean, this is a team that has a lot of misfits on their team. So I could see, and Ngakoue, he's a good player. We know he's a pass rusher. He can't stop the run. He's known for his pass rushing. So I'm interested to see where Ngakoue goes in the offseason if Minnesota's going to be able to sign him, because, again, they have cap trouble right now. And he's going to, if he has another season with 12 or 13 sacks this year, he's going to want $100 million. They can't afford that. They can't pay him.
And their run defense, like you were mentioning, is already kind of questionable as it is, because they lost Linval Joseph in the offseason. They signed Michael Pierce, but now Michael Pierce dropped out of the season. So now they have nothing really inside much, mainly pass rushing DTs. Danielle Hunter's a great player, great pass rusher, but he's a smaller guy, so it's going to be harder for him to stop the run as effectively. So that's going to make it very hard and put a lot of pressure on those linebackers. And if they're focusing on stopping the run, it's not going to help them in coverage when they already lost 3 corners. So that's going to make it very hard for Mike Zimmer. They're going to have to hope these rookies that they drafted could step up right away.
And the 2 lead teams that are looking for a running back right now, what I'm seeing is the Patriots and the Buccaneers. Those are the 2 top teams right now looking for Leonard Fournette. I could see the Patriots making that move and landing Leonard Fournette, especially when you can get him on the cheap. And you saw they got Cam Newton on the cheap. It's crazy to say that the New England Patriots got Cam Newton, one of the great quarterbacks, one of the top 7 quarterbacks in the league, for practically nothing.
I really like that fit, too, because then you're creating a power-on-power essence with your run game. Obviously, Cam Newton, both of them are actually good outside.
I do not want to see Leonard Fournette on the Patriots.
But you could create that power run identity.
Even though the Jets have done very well against Leonard Fournette. They've stopped Leonard Fournette. And they know, and the Jets have a very good run defense. So I'm interested to see if Leonard Fournette goes there. I could also see the Buccaneers, the Buccaneers that need a power back. It's something that they've lacked in the last couple of years. They've had minuscule different running backs over the last couple of years.
Ever since Doug Martin left.
Yes, this has not been a running team. And Bruce Arians is not a running coach. But Leonard Fournette gives you that power, that gives you that back that can move the ball inside and out, inside the hash, where you would expect the running back to cause trouble in the middle of the field, where they've lacked for the last couple of years.
Well, he's good at one thing, though. He's good at making random running backs work, though. We saw that even the one year with the Colts. We saw that with a rotation of different running backs. They really had nothing on that team when it came to running the football. Then Arizona, you saw Andre Ellington break out of nowhere. Then Chris Johnson got rebirthed for a little bit. And then you saw David Johnson obviously come out of nowhere and play well. He did for the year and a half that he did. Now, it didn't show at Tampa last year with Ronald Jones or Peyton Barber, but they drafted a kid in Keyshawn Vaughn, so that's definitely another one they could look at. And again, if they do want to go that route, who better than Fournette, who's still very young and skilled?
And by the way, the New York Giants made a move today, and they landed Logan Ryan. Everybody was talking about him going to the Jets. Well, the Giants got him for a 1-year deal, which is a great move for the New York Giants. Yeah. I mean, losing Baker possibly for the season, maybe for the rest of his career.
They lost McKinney for 2 months.
They lost McKinney too, so they needed that other DB, that other corner, and this is a guy that was up for Defensive Player of the Year last year, early in the season, and then kind of fell off, and he was a big part of the reason why Tennessee went to the AFC title game. So Logan Ryan's a guy that knows the Patriots. Even though the Giants are not playing the Patriots this year, he's a team that can give you. He's a player that can give you depth, and he could also he knows the offense, he knows the defense that Judge is bringing in, because he was a part of the New England Patriots. So he knows Logan Ryan very, very well, and I think Logan Ryan would have probably felt better and more comfortable going to the Giants with Judge than going to the Jets with Adam Gase. So I was very surprised hearing that today, that Logan Ryan went to the Giants, but it gives them that depth that they need, even though I don't think the Giants, and I was very surprised that Logan Ryan picked the Giants, because he's not winning a Super Bowl with this young Giant team this year. I don't even think they're making the playoffs. No. So the fact that he took this, it was probably the best deal. I don't know what they offered him or what he got. I was hearing that he wanted somewhere along the lines of $11 million. I haven't heard anything of that yet. I'm sure it'll come out in the next day or so how much he got, but he got a significant. I'm sure the Giants gave him at least $9 to $10 million.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a sell high perspective for Logan Ryan. Maybe because the Giants are going to struggle, and maybe the defense will be on the field a lot because they're not very good. Maybe that's a showcase where he can up his stats, maybe get more interceptions or something like that, and then cash in next year. So maybe that was a factor, and obviously Joe Judge being there is also a factor too. Like Mike Vrabel when he went to Tennessee. Now Tennessee paid him more, obviously, because Tennessee paid him like a number one corner, but now, obviously, he seems to be acclimated with that Patriot system and wants to keep it going.
Well, I want to see where the Giants go this year. It's a year. I'm sorry, a year away. It's a week away. The season will start. We'll see where the New York teams are going to fall. A lot of people predict Buffalo is going to have a good season. I want to see if they can stay healthy enough. They're right now in the mix right now to being one of the top AFC teams. They have a very good defense. They have a tremendous amount of depth. They added a corner in the offseason that's going to help them moving forward. So I'm interested to see where Buffalo goes. But all in all, the AFC East is going to be very strong this year because I think Miami's going to be a lot better this year because they have a better team. They have more depth defensively. They're going to be able to get at you in the middle of the field defensively. And even though I think their weakest part of their defense is their corner position, I still think their front seven is fairly pretty good. So
Byron Jones and Xavien Howard's weak.
Well, I don't think a lot of people think that that's going to be a very. First of all, Jones is overrated. All right, I've said this over and over again.
Sure, but again,
they overpaid for and who was the other one? You said Howard.
Xavien Howard.
Xavier Howard. First of all, Xavier Howard. How many good seasons has he had in the last couple of years?
The last 2 years.
The last 2 years, you think he has had a great year? He's had great years.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, tell me what's great to you, Speedy?
He was
how many interceptions? How many? I don't care what Pro Bowl. Me and you could go to the Pro Bowl if we had 2 or 3 interceptions in a season.
No, I think the other season
was he an All-Pro player?
I think 2018 he was. 2019 he wasn't.
So you're telling me that Terrence Howard was
Xavien Howard?
I'm sorry, Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard that played for Minnesota. Are we talking about that? No, that's Xavier Rhodes. That's Xavier. And where did Xavier Rhodes go? The Colts.
We thought about him for a while.
Yeah, which I think he's going to have a bad season too.
I know you do.
So Xavier Howard, I don't think their cornerback position is going to be very, very strong this year. You think they are? I do not.
I think it's the best part of their defense.
No, I think the best part of their defense is the front seven, and I think they're going to be able to get at you just like they got at people at the end of the season last year. How many sacks did they have at the end of the season? They completely disrupted a lot of teams in the front seven that they did last season, and they didn't have the players that they added since this offseason. I think they're a lot better this year defensively in their front seven. The cornerback position, I still think they're very weak. I don't think they're going to be a good corner team. I think they're going to have a lot of problems right now in the middle of the field. I don't think they have a slot corner that can stop people. I think they're going to have a lot of problems over there. But all in all, Miami's going to be good this year. The Jets are going to be good this year. Buffalo's going to be good this year, and even the Patriots are going to be good this year. This might be one of the best divisions in all of football.
Yeah, I don't think any team.
And people might think I'm crazy, by the way, but I think they're going to be a lot better. This division is going to be a lot better than it has been.
It's definitely a competitive division. I don't think any team will win more than 10 games in this division. Like, I think the only one that probably could is Buffalo, maybe the Patriots, but it's definitely going to be competitive. I don't think you're going to see anyone really bad like we've seen in the past.
This is going to be one of those divisions you're going to keep your eyes on for the next couple of years because you have some of the best young quarterbacks in all of football in the same division.
Oh, yeah.
When you talk, Cam Newton's still fairly young. If he's still with the Patriots, he's only 31 years old. He could be there for another 8 years if he really wants to be, and if he stays healthy. You have Sam Darnold with the Jets. You have Tua with the Miami Dolphins, and then you have Josh Allen, who plays for the Buffalo Bills. So this is a really young and very interesting division when it comes to quarterback play, and I'm very interested to see, because I've been reading stories right now with the Jets that Sam's looked good one week, he's looked bad the other week. He's looked good one week, he's looked bad the other week. So I want to see, in the last 4 weeks of practice and what they've seen, I want to see Sam Darnold develop. I just don't know if they have enough weapons to do it. We know Josh Allen has more than enough weapons to do it this year. And Tua, I don't expect a lot from Tua this year. I don't even know if he's going to win the job.
Projected not to right now.
You know, so
Fitzpatrick's going to get it again.
I still think Tua. You'll see Tua for at least 7 or 8 games this year. I do not believe Fitzpatrick. Once they get knocked out of the playoffs, and that could be really, really early in the season, because if you look at this division, this is a very hard, when it comes to scheduling, this is very hard for the Jets, Miami, even the Patriots, and Buffalo. This is a hard schedule
this year. Yeah,
this is going to be a hard schedule from all 4 teams. I'm interested to see how this division reacts to the hard schedule.